If you need a polite way to tell people to get off your lawn, I've got you covered. Today we're making a simple, yet aggressively passive-aggressive sign using Rockler's Interlock Sign Template Kit. For this particular masterpiece, I'm using the Comic Sans template, because nothing says serious woodworking like Comic Sans. First things first, the sign blank. I grabbed some cheap common pine from the big box store and cut a panel that was slightly oversized. This is a good general tip. Always make your blank a bit bigger than your final dimensions, just in case. I then quickly ripped down a couple of edges on the table saw so I could get a nice, clean glue up that would be completely seamless. At least, probably. For the actual lettering, I'm using the interlocking letter templates themselves. They're designed to simply snap together, which is a major time saver. I marked out my layout on the panel, snapped the letters together, and then used my trusty secret weapon, double-sided tape, to hold them firmly in place. You do not want these shifting halfway through a pass. Now for the routing. I'm going to route these letters out with a specific bit and bushing combo. The bit is a special sign-making straight bit from Rockler that is specifically designed for this template system. Since I'm using the 2¼ inch letter size, I'm pairing the 3/8 by 3/8 inch bit with a 3/8 by ½ inch guide bushing. I set my depth to cut just under a 1/4 inch deep. With that, it was time to hog out some material. Here's a bonus trick. I added a couple of extra unused letters to the ends of the template rail. This gives the router base solid support when you're working right up against the edge. Once those support pieces were in place, I covered them up with painter's tape so I wouldn't accidentally get carried away and route them into the final sign. With all the main letters routed out, I thought I might as well go ahead and paint them. To save time on sanding later, I added a little more blue painter's tape around the perimeter to reduce overspray. With the template still secured, I hit the letters with a little matte black spray paint. Once that was dry, I could peel off the templates and add my punctuation. A simple exclamation point and comma. Next, I headed back to the table saw to cut the panel down to its final size, making sure everything was nicely centered. A quick round over at the router table gave it a nice soft edge. Then it was time for the final sanding to clean up that little bit of overspray and smooth everything out. I sprayed on a clear top coat to protect the wood and give it just a little bit of shine. Finally, I finished it up with some basic hanging hardware on the back and a couple of small rubber feet. The feet prevent it from accidentally scratching any walls or doors it might be hanging on. And there you have it, a super simple, fast project, and a beautiful way to politely greet guests and tell them to leave at the same time.